Happy New Year. Welcome to your January 1st edition of Wasatch Weekends. I'm Danielle Turner. On today's show, we take a look back at some of our most watched content from 2023. But first, let's take a look at the local forecast.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to the show. It's no surprise that one of the most watched videos of 2023 on our YouTube page was from the Sundance Film Festival. Let's take a look back at this clip from Invisible Beauty.
With Sundance right around the corner, there's so many inspirational films that you're going to want to get out there and see, one of them being Invisible Beauty, which is all about Beth Ann Hardison and her amazing journey through being a revolutionary in the fashion industry, and of course one of her wonderful co-directors with her, Frederick Chang. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Well, thank you for having us.
I would just like to ask, only because Frederick and I had a chance to talk a little bit about it off camera, how you guys came to meet to bring this wonderful film to life.
Well, Frederick, continue your conversation.
Okay, I'll just say it again. We met in 2014. We go a little bit back. Well, Beth Ann was receiving this award, this fashion award from the CFDA for her work, advocacy work. And I was approached to collaborate on a short film, a little short film that would come on, on stage before Beth Ann received the award. And so that was my first introduction to Beth Ann, and I was captivated because I got to interview her one afternoon, and the story of her life, her work was just so vast, and the personality and just the way she was telling the story was just so interesting and so captivating. So we kept in touch over the years, and that's how I found out about Invisible Beauty, this film that Beth Ann had been working on already for quite some time, and it was dormant. So that was my first introduction to the project.
Exactly. That's exactly. You told it quite right, accurately so. And it's true that it became like when you say things just were meant to happen, and this is exactly what happened with Frederick and I. It really was meant to happen because I was, like stirring in a pot, figuring, how am I going to get this film done? And he came along and he convinced me that already I had begun to think the film has to be about me instead of another subject I was trying to tell. And I'm very happy that we made it happen.
Now, Beth Ann, as we kind of did the introduction, you are someone who has revolutionized the fashion industry only because you are such an activist in so many ways. So what was it like throughout your career wearing so many different hats?
Oh, well, that's, listen, when you don't have, when you're a master of none, it's very easy to wear different hats. You just, it's just things that are called, you're capable of doing many things and you just wind up doing it. You think, if you had one particular thing that you were great at, and this that you knew was your profession, then you don't wear a lot of hats. But when you're, like you come on this earth and you're just like flowing, and you just wind up doing different things you're capable of doing and things that you're meant to do, so there's no trying to figure it out. It just is that, you just put one foot in front of the other.
And I recently just read an incredible Vogue article that came out about this time last year. So do you think that your younger self would have ever seen you making these accomplishments throughout your career?
Oh, absolutely. Well said. Good question. No, absolutely not. I'm I'm still impressed that I'm making them now. I'm looking back at myself thinking, oh my God, Jesus, can you believe? And especially when I see the film. Seeing the film really reminded me of who I was just 20 years ago. Because and now I'm in a different position. Now I'm doing something, rolling the ball in a different direction. So I wouldn't have thought it as my younger self, no. But I knew as my younger self, I was always active and moving and doing things all the time. But I would never have imagined this.
And Frederick, what has it been like working with such a power in this fashion industry and such a force to be reckoned with through all of the incredible work that Beth Ann has done?
It was humbling, I would say, because when you speak to everyone that Beth Ann has encountered in her life, and when you start realizing really the impact, because I knew, as I said, like I interviewed Beth Ann a long time ago, and so I knew the trajectory of the life, but to really hear everyone talk about the ramification of like her impact and what she's done for people's lives all over the globe, really. By the end, I was kind of humbled, and I felt like a sense of responsibility to tell that story right, to first and foremost make Beth Ann proud and to not kind of like mess it up, because I felt like it was an incredible story that really deserved an incredible film. So it put the bar very high, but Beth Ann puts the bar very high, I think, for herself. And when you're around her, you just really want to also be at that level.
Now, if you had to give someone like a brief little synopsis on the things in this film that really stand out, what would you give them, Frederick?
So many things. As you said, Beth Ann has worn so many hats as a model, as a modeling agent with her groundbreaking agency, and then as an activist and advocate. I would say, like, for me, what really stood out and what people are really going to, I think, discover is a sort of untold chapter in the history of the fashion industry and the modeling industry, especially. In the late 90s and 2000s, there was a whitewash of the modeling industry where, after the Soviet bloc opened, there was a focus on Russian models and Eastern European models, and the model of color got displaced in a way that far from the golden age that Beth Ann had experienced before. And that's the story we're telling in the film, in the second act. And I think for many people it was just a discovery. It's just a chapter that's not talked about enough, and I think we really just it was important for us to really bring that to light and for people to understand how that shift happened and what role Beth Ann played in that shift.
Now, Beth Ann, if there was a girl who was watching this interview right now who had a desire to become part of the fashion industry, what piece of advice would you give her to keep persevering through the challenges?
Well, I'm not someone who encourages people to model. So I would always say if it's a girl who has an idea, or girl or guy, if they would like to, I'd always think we always need people behind the scenes. And a lot of people think that, oh my God, I want to be in front because that's what you see. But I always say that, being in the model industry is not so easy. It's very hard. It's challenging beyond, and it takes a certain kind of person to put up with it. You have to also be the person that they want in it in order for you to even have a ride. So that's a little difficult. What I would say to anyone who really wants to do anything, no matter what it is, no matter what I even say, is that you really need to do your homework. You really need to recognize what it is that it takes to do something or be involved with something, what's required. It is not just the physical, it's the stamina, the mental and emotional stamina. But also, if you really want to do something, just really recognize and learn a lot more about it before you step into it. I know right now everything is very, very easy. You just step in front of a camera, whether it be TikTok or a person's iPhone, and get pictures done and be known and get to be seen. And that's one way, but that's not the world I come from. So if you can make it that way, right on. Good luck out there, I would say. Ride 'em, cowboy.
That's a solid saying right there. I love the ride cowboy, and especially with the points that you're coming from, because you were in this industry for over 50 years, and it's not easy. It's a tooth and nail kind of industry, whether you're in front of the scenes or behind the scenes. And I think right now, after the few years that we've recently experienced here with COVID and everything else that's taken place, I think that this is the perfect time for this film to come out, to just really give people that inside look, give them that information of how challenging something so glamorous can actually be.
Well said. Look at you. I'm impressed. Well said. No, that's very good. I really appreciate you saying it that way, and I hope that it is true. There are people who have said when they saw the film, our agents, for instance, they really felt this was a timely film. They thought it has more hope than a lot of things you see. It gives you walk away feeling like, wow, good. You feel so it's almost like a feel good film. And when I've heard people say that, I go, really? Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for your thoughts on that, because you're a youthful person and you get it. That's nice.
I want to thank you guys both so much for taking the time to meet with me, chat with me, and not only that, but really inspire me. Whether I was reading your articles or whether just talking to you, I feel like I've learned so much just in this short time that I cannot wait to see this film.
Thank you so much. I'm happy, and I look forward for you to tell us when you think of it, when you see us, and you must look for us.
I will definitely look for you. Thank you guys again so much. Frederick, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, TV8 Bail.
Make sure that you check out the Sundance Film Festival and you keep your eye out for Invisible Beauty, because it's going to be one of those movies that changes the way you think about the fashion industry. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back from the break, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. It's no surprise that another one of our top videos for 2023 was about local content. Let's take a look back at this interview we did on the nursing crisis in Salt Lake City.
Did you know that our community is having a shortages of nurses right now? Meaning that there are so many jobs available, but also the healthcare is kind of in a weird place. Well, we've got an expert on this space, Andrew Neidigger, to give us some more information. Thank you so much for meeting with us, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, you've got a very long job title. Would you like to explain what you do?
Yeah, I am the Executive Director of Academic Operations for Arizona College in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I am privileged to serve our student community here and help them become nurses. So.
Now, we're experiencing a very large shortage here in Utah, and why is that?
You know, we're facing a nursing shortage across the country. It's impacting some communities more than others. And, you know, we've been seeing this come for many years now. And pre-pandemic, we were talking about nursing shortage. We could see that the baby boomer generation was getting ready to retire. We also saw that was the baby boomer and the boomer ages were going to, you know, enter that phase of life where they need some more health care. So those two in combo really started getting us looking at this shortage back 10 years ago. Then COVID hit and it exacerbated it. Nurses are tired, they're burned out. They were faced with some very difficult dilemmas with shortage of PPEs, you know, heavy workloads, working in, you know, very unsafe environments at times. And so, you know, they're tired, they're burned out. So many have left the profession. And so here we are today, and we are, you know, very short on nurses, and it's really scary.
And how is it affecting our healthcare system to have the shortage of the nurses right now?
Well, you know, it's interesting that you should ask that. I was going to a restaurant about a week ago, and got to the restaurant. There was a sign on the door, and it said, "Sorry, we're closed due to shortage of labor." And I thought, wow, that's kind of making me a little bit upset right now, because I really wanted to eat. Imagine if you had gone to an emergency room and saw the same sign. That's the scary reality when we need these nurses in our time of need. and they're not there to help us, it's really going to affect us health-wise. The more nurses we have, the more we can spend time on the preventative stuff, creating healthy lifestyles, helping people get the chronic needs met before they become urgent. So those are some of the factors that are playing out as we see this nurse shortage increase.
And what are the steps that we can take to maybe help solve this shortage right now?
Yeah, I think, people want a magic button to push and that it all just goes away. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort from a bunch of different stakeholders. We need to, one, increase the number of new nurses. And that's what we're trying to do at Arizona College is help increase the number of new nurses coming into the profession, making sure that they're trained well and trained correctly. We don't want to just throw a whole bunch of people in without the experience that's going to really impact healthcare, later on. The other possible answers to this is to create safer environments in the hospitals, protect the nurses from feeling unsafe, protect them from feeling like they're working in, difficult environments. And we can do that by, protecting our nurses, having more security in hospitals, helping create an environment that they feel safe. And part of that is looking at staffing ratios. There are a lot of nurses that, pre-pandemic were taking care of 1 or 2 ICU patients at a time. Now they're taking care of 4 ICU patients at a time. And that's really just not safe. It's detrimental to the nurse, it's detrimental to the patient. And that's where we start seeing medication errors happen and that we've seen in the last couple of years in the news. And we don't want that to happen. We want our patients to be safe. We want our patients to be happy and healthy. And when they're not, it's really hard for us to continue on in that type of environment.
Now, nursing is a career that's been around for a very long time. What makes it such a great career, and who's right for the job?
Gosh, nursing is a wonderful career. I have enjoyed being really help other people find that same passion that I found. And the cool thing about nursing is there is something for everybody. I chose the path of education. There are administrator nurses, there are IT tech nurses, there are emergency room nurses, life flight nurses. There's the whole gamut. There's something for everyone. Now, to get to that, to get to your dream job, you have to, go through nursing school. You have to, get a really good general background of everything. So, it does take someone that's willing to commit, someone that is passionate about caring for others, and somebody that can meet the technical demands of nursing. But I think everyone should give it a try. It's a great profession to be in, and the thing that I love most about it is when I go home, I get to hold my head up. I've done something good for the world, and I'm able to support my family and support my lifestyle, doing something that makes me happy and makes others happy. So it's great.
Which I think is a great testament to the career in itself. And like you said, you get to help a lot of people. Now, what makes Arizona College of Nursing unique as a program?
Our commitment is to be the most student-centric college in the world. And I think that drives all of, the things that we do here. We love our students. We are committed to their success. And because of that, we have amazing outcomes. So we're a team, and we work together to get you to your goal, get you to where you want to be in life. And it's just so fun and so great to be a part of that journey with the students. And we get to celebrate together, and we get to just really enjoy that time with the students. So Arizona College is just a wonderful place to be, and I encourage everyone to look into it and come see what we have to offer you.
Now, what should people consider if they are interested in applying for nursing school or partaking in nursing school as they approach?
Yeah, we have campuses all across the country, so find a place that that looks good to you. Jump onto arizonacollege.edu and submit an application.
Now, you've had quite the extensive career being a nurse. What has been your favorite moment throughout your career?
Oh gosh, there's been so many. You know, one of my all-time favorite things is watching these new nurses graduate. That's really the icing on the cake for me, and being able to be a part of that, knowing that you were a part of that journey, and helping them get to their dreams, and knowing that each one of those students are going to affect the lives of thousands of people.
Now, what's the enrollment process like, and what can people expect if they do enroll in nursing school with you guys?
Yeah, so the enrollment process is really easy. You'll, after you put in the application at arizonacollege.edu, you'll meet with an advisor. You'll talk about the program, and they'll really walk you through step by step. That's one of the things that is great about our colleges is we are there for you during every step of the process. So they will walk you through the process. They'll explain everything about your journey to becoming a registered nurse. Nursing school is not easy. It's that way on purpose. We got to make sure that we have good quality nurses out there. But again, we're there to help you every step of the way, and we're going to be there to support and uplift you throughout the process.
Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, and thank you so much for all of the hard work that you do. I know it definitely makes a difference for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Make sure that if you are interested in maybe changing career paths, that you look into this amazing opportunity to take hold of your own future and take hold of really what's taking place in and around our community, and you attend nursing school, because Arizona University is the great place to go and maybe just shift careers. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Thanks so much for joining me for this morning's edition of Wasatch Weekends. From all of us here at Park City Television, we wish you a very happy new year. We have big plans in store for you for 2024, so stay tuned. We'll see you next weekend.